It doesn't usually bite unless you touch it in the wrong spot, but we're all that way a little bit.
Oh, I see.
So now you can see, and there are elements that aren't, that are on board that aren't really fully deployed yet. So once that hopefully later this summer that'll be operational. That adds a whole expressive element. Where they're way simpler than they look. I make things that hit things, basically. That's all there is to it on most of them. It's not just about hitting notes at a certain time, because that's kind of basic, but it's about shaping the notes and. Yeah, so you get the idea of some, and it's voice-like. I mean, because it's mimicking the sort of resonant frequencies of the human voice. I'm Troy Rogers, and I live in Duluth, Minnesota, and I am a composer, musical roboticist, and semi-nomadic robot herder. Come look at something. This was the Musical Robotics Summer Camp at the Lyric Center for the Arts in Virginia, Minnesota. Are we connected? Should I test?
Oh yeah.
We know we have power because we've got some of them working, right? What else could it be?
The bowl.
It's always exhilarating and exhausting, and that's just part of it. And remember, this should spark, and
Yeah.
so let's see if it does. And it doesn't. So that tells us
Solenoid?
it's probably a problem with the wiring. For me, it's a lot. I get a lot out of it because I get, greedily as a composer, they work with these instruments in ways that I definitely don't, and probably most other adults wouldn't. They're largely uncorrupted by, the kind of peer pressure and the social fears that sort of constrain creative impulses. It's so important to get other people working with these. I mean, I have to admit that probably I'm not going to be the person who does the most interesting things with these instruments. Almost any instrument you can think of, it's not the creator, it's all the people who use and misuse the instrument. So in that context today, that's a whole different mode of writing a song hands-on with robots. So today was really cementing everything together, and having Galen here and doing her songwriting workshop. Okay, let's make a song. So there were some ideas that were floating around that really gelled.
So how are we going to know the end?
You can give us the final form. I can do this.
It's always one thing to talk about this stuff and do it, but you don't really do it until you've just got to press go, and that's when you find out what you know and whether it works or not. So as a proof of concept, performance is key. What translates and what doesn't, you quickly learn to adopt a different stance. It's called For Ziola. It was written for my good friend Leanne, who's a belly dancer. She dances as part of Tribal Alchemy. On the road, it's for imaginary belly dancer and robots. Sort of a milestone of deploying the vocal robot in a certain way, and really just letting the percussion, just the sheer physicality of the percussion robots, just kind of let loose. It's just the automated beating of these skins and letting that, just living with that, and just sort of, it's a wash, it's just let it wash over you a little. when it becomes a collective, real-time, physical, acoustic phenomenon, then that is a moment for sure. Yeah.